computer. That's what it tells me to do. Okay, so we're recording right now. Welcome to the May meeting of the ELLA Book Collaborative. We are missing a few folks tonight, but that's fine. That's okay. And this collaborative is going to continue to grow, and I'll tell you about that in a few minutes. But first, I want to introduce right in the middle of our Hollywood Square screen is Nicole Zahn. Nicole is our newest member to the Ella's Way Board of Directors. And she has graciously volunteered to kind of help a little bit with this project. And when we get going with our book reviews, Nicole has offered to help as well. So Nicole has quite a background, and Nicole, maybe you just want to tell what your background is basically for everybody.
Sure. So I have a master's degree in clinical mental health counseling, and I've been working in the field of psychology since 1990. So I started out in 1990 working in adolescent residential programs. I worked at a youth council with children at risk, and as well as adolescents and the parents who were court ordered to come for treatment. From there, I moved into working for the state of Massachusetts. Right now is where I am, working as a case manager for the Department of Mental Health with adults. But a lot of course, it overlaps with the children that they have naturally, and how they are best handling their symptoms and their behaviors to help make sure that they're dealing with their children as best they can as well. So,
right. Good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And Nicole, tell them about your other interesting degree as well.
Yes. So my bachelor's degree, I have a bachelor's degree in psychology, but I also have a secondary degree in British literature. So,
wow.
Yeah. So
which has served me no point until now. So.
But I think it'll be wonderful to have Nicole on board and help with reading some of these great children's books. I've had the opportunity to look some of them over, but to really delve more into them, it'll be great to have a partner in crime doing that. Right. So welcome, Nicole. And I saw Carla just joined us as well. So hi, Carla.
Julia.
Good to see you here as well. Just to let you know, we are recording tonight. So if anybody accidentally drops off or you need to leave early, that's fine. You'll be able to see this later on as well. So what I want to do tonight is to go over a little bit, an update on the collaborative, where we are with certain things. And then I want to have two of our authors that are here this evening do a little speaking for us.
Right.
So Deb Binnig and Scott, listen, I just called you your father's name,
Wow.
John Miller. John Miller, whose father's name is Scott. We were just talking about Scott. So John Miller will be giving us a little presentation this evening as well, about 10 or 15 minutes each from those guys. And at the end, we're going to open it up. You'll maybe have questions to me about the collaborative or questions from either of our guest speakers. So we'll save about the last 10 or 15 minutes for that as well. Sound like a plan?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. And let me just tell you basically where things are at right now. And I'm going to go ahead and bring up the Ella's Way website. So hold on just a second. Share my screen. All right. Can you guys see the website okay?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. So if you guys have or haven't been here before, I would urge you to go to ellasway.com. And under the tab of bookstore is where you will find all of the books so far that have been approved for the collaborative. So there it is, the ELA Book Collaborative. As you know, ELLA stands for Early Learning Leads to Acceptance. More talented authors, more unique books, more opportunities to create conversations in kindness. And this is a picture of your book, as well as just kind of a short synopsis. I did have to shorten some of them up because they were a little bit lengthy and I wanted to make sure that we had room for all of them. But for example, if I click on fraud, let's see, who's here? Who can I do real quick? How about Ford the Tooting Truck? If I click on Ford, his little toot toot,
That's cute.
So this does have it comes up as a larger picture. And then if I hit more information, it will take you to where it is being sold, where it can be purchased.
Awesome.
So we will doing that for all of the authors. Okay. The next step, though, is what I would like to do is have it be that when you click on the book, it will take you to an overview of the author's bio. So I want each of the authors to actually have their own little bio page. So, if you click on a book on Amazon,
Yeah.
that if you click on that book, it kind of takes you to its own page and describes the book there. So rather than having it all described here right on the website, I would like you to be able to click on the book and actually have an author's bio in there as well.
That's great.
So it highlights you as authors even just a little bit more, which is what we're all about, sharing our experiences and what our backgrounds are and what motivates us and all of that. So every author will have their own little bio as well. So here's John's book, Adventures in Handom. So not only would it show the picture when I click on it, but it would also have some bio about John Miller's book as well. Sound good?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So that's a little bit about what the website looks like. And then the other thing, and let me go back to new share here from the current side. Can you guys see the membership levels again? Is that up there for you? Okay. Okay. So these are all the different membership levels from level 1, 2, and 3. So as of right now, everybody is up and running on our website. And we are starting our monthly online book collaborative meetings. I am working on the monthly brochure to schools and libraries. I did, as I said, put a June 1st kind of target date to try to get everything done by. And I think we're pretty much on schedule for getting things all up and running. But we are going to be starting the written review of the books. And as I mentioned, Nicole will be helping with that. And when they're reviewed, then they'll have the certified sticker go on the book as well. And then for our level 3 folks, I will be reaching out to you folks over the next 2 weeks and start purchasing your books. So for everyone who has paid their membership and they've joined now, I'm going to go ahead and start buying back the level 3 books. And as I mentioned, it will be either 2 hardcover books or 3 soft cover books. And once I have those books in hand, then we'll start talking about putting them together and donating those packages to schools or libraries or wherever we want to donate them. And what I was thinking, and Dave Richards, who you met last week, and I were talking about this the other day, that if we have teachers in the collaborative, it might be nice to actually have some of those packages, the initial donation packages, go to those teachers' schools.
Yeah.
So, so then you can kind of talk it up and show it to the other teachers and start reading those stories and maybe report back to us how the kids like the books. Maybe even we can grab a picture or 2 here or there, which always helps in the grant writing process. Yep. But I think that would be a nice way to start, is to start to support even the authors that are actually teachers in this group as well by donating packages to those schools. So that's how things are underway right now. Let me see what else I have on my list here. So I will be reaching out to you for giving me a bio to put on the website. I'll be reaching out to the level 3 folks to purchase back your donated books, and then we'll get working on the review process and start to get the brochure in line as well. So that's kind of where we're at right now. I am also have for the month of May, so let me just stop sharing this real quick. Pause share. Okay, hold on. Let me see where I can stop sharing. Stop sharing. There we go. Still not great with Zoom, but we're working on it. I have about 25 other authors, maybe 26 or 7 even at this point, that have all reached out to me at this point and want to join the collaborative.
Awesome.
So at the end of May, Dave and I will be doing another collaborative introductory meeting, using the same kind of format that we did with you guys. Once we get those folks on board, what I would like to do is a press release So we'll be doing something in some local papers and start to, talk about what we're doing. So we'll be doing a press release as well. And I've also been working with a marketing consultant right now who's volunteered some time. She's also a teacher in the past, but she does marketing right now. And she has already gone through the entire website and said to me, we can blow this thing out of the box. So that's what I wanted to. It was great to hear her. She said, I love what you're doing. We're going to blow this out of the box. So she's coming on board. So I'll be working with her as well. The last thing I wanted to add, I wanted to encourage all you guys, if you don't follow already Ella's Way on Facebook or Instagram, and you use that social media platform, to follow us, because we'll be spotlighting the authors more. And we've already started to post quite a few things about the website or about the collaborative, and getting people, I don't have folks that are on Instagram following us. I know, Sarah, you are. I think Megan, you're following us on one of them, right, as well?
I think on both of them, actually.
Are you? Okay. So I'd encourage you to follow Ella's Way on Facebook and Instagram. We're on Twitter as well, just to watch what's going on. But in addition to that, as we get to know the authors, I think it would be great to follow each other as well. So if you've got, 4 or 5, 100, I don't have that many, but if, say you have a few hundred followers, wouldn't it be great to then let them know that you're following someone else, and maybe we can kind of have this thing just blow up even that much more. So let's let everybody know what we're doing. So begin to follow each other on different sites. But Ella's Way and Instagram, it's Ella's Way Inc. And then on Facebook, it's just Ella's Way. Okay, so there we go. I think that's all I had. And if you wouldn't mind, I'm going to save question and answers to the end for everybody, so we can kind of jump right into our little presentations, if that's good with you. Sounds good. So Deb, how about I put Deb Binnig up first on the spotlight here? She's up first. I think it's really important that we start to celebrate each other's, journey and your successes along the way. Start to let everybody know kind of what motivated you, where your books come from. So we're going to ask Deb a few questions, but basically you can kick it off and just, Deb, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got writing, and kind of what inspired you to get started. So tell us, start us off.
I'm not a writer. I've always been an artist in one way or another, commercial art, art galleries. But what inspired me with this was my daughter was bullied. And it's a story that 20 bazillion people have that happen. And it just gnawed at me for a long time. And I guess as writers, we all, I shouldn't even call myself a writer, but anyway.
You are a writer.
Well, it just overwhelmed me. And years later, after it happened, I worked in a school, in an elementary school, and I could see little things that were going on. And it just always reminded me of my daughter. And I just wrote it out one day. I don't even know who was making my handwrite. I just wrote it. And, it was about the unkindness, and it was about, she actually got sick. She got ulcers.
Wow.
It was a long year. It was 4th grade. So, and I'll tell you that today she's 35 years old, and I still see, part of that in her, that happened. And this was a girl that just, she was going to take over the world, but that just brought her to her knees in a way. And that, anyway, we all start with an idea, and that's where my idea came from. And I likened it to her heart colors were fading. That's where the idea from the book came from. And, I just worked on it. And as an artist, I was having trouble with the illustrations. And after working in an elementary school, I loved what the kids did. I loved their illustrations. And I said, I want it to look like that. So my illustrations for that book came from the children that I knew. But then I got kind of stopped with the illustrations. I hit a block and I threw it under the bed. It was under the bed for I don't know how long. And I think I've heard this before from other people. And so one day I took it out and I was showing my daughter the illustrations and she said, this is begging to get finished. So
Mhm.
I did. I finished it. It's been a long road. I tried Amazon. And when they sent me a sample, because it's about colors, I really wanted the colors to be right, and they weren't. And I live on Cape Cod, and I just happened to find a printer that really did a good job with the colors. And so I've worked with them, and here I am. And I don't even care if the book sells a gazillion copies. It's the message,
Mhm.
which is why I love Ella's Way. Because I just think to myself, well, if kids could practice this like they practice the piano and baseball and soccer,
Mm.
just maybe it could be part of, the morning meeting at a school, and just have it somehow fit into that. Just practice it and have it, said over and over and over again. Maybe there'll be a little bit less unkindness. That's just my feeling about it, and that's what my book came from.
Wow. Oh, dear. I'm just, you know what, I'm a little remiss here. What I'm going to do just real quick, if you guys haven't seen it, I'm just going to pull up her, and I'll do that for John's too. If anybody hasn't seen this before, can you all see that? This is Deb's book. It's
Oh,
called
yeah.
What Color is Your Heart?
Oh, beautiful.
It's
Aw.
very sweet, isn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah. So it has an anti-bullying message, but also an overriding message about kindness, basically at the same time. So you told us what your story is about. Do you have any other books in the works, Deb?
Probably I do have another idea about kindness. I guess that's my thing with the hearts and the kindness. It's about a tree. One little heart, grows, and then it grows into a tree. And Mother Nature looks down and likes it and tells the wind to blow the kindness.
Ah, I love it.
I love it too. Yeah.
Wow, it's writing itself again for you. I
Well,
like
it
it.
did. And I'm struggling with the illustrations. I don't know why, but anyway, that's my next idea.
Beautiful.
Fabulous. Now your books right now are on Amazon. Your book is on Amazon.
Just got it there. It was a struggle. If it
Okay.
wasn't for my daughter helping me, I think if you print your book through them,
Mm,
it's easier. It wasn't as easy to become a seller. You have to do a face-to-face interview with them, and
I did not know that.
it's a long process. So it is there.
So that just tells me that maybe down the road for all you guys, maybe it would be helpful for those of you that don't publish through Amazon, how to get your books on Amazon, if you wanted to. I think that would be a nice topic for down the road. What do you guys think? I think that would be helpful, right?
Yeah.
Not everybody.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'll just add that for down the road, maybe.
it
So
wasn't easy. It wasn't an easy thing to do.
Yeah. Deb, let me ask you, where have you sold, like where else do you sell your books, or how do you get your books out into the community? What's worked for you?
Well, after having worked in a school, I know so many teachers, and so schools have taken the book. And it did get the Mom's Choice Award. So it's
Congratulations.
it's on I applied for it, thinking, well, I don't know what. Anyway, it worked. It worked. So it's on their website and your website. But again, it's the message. And that's what I love about what you're doing. I just think I think it's important.
Yeah. Did you have a book signing for your book?
No, because of COVID.
Oh, it came out during COVID. Yeah.
No, yes. Yeah, in December, I think. Yes.
Okay.
No, I haven't gone into schools. I've just promoted it with the teachers in the schools that I know.
Yeah.
So that's where it stands. And it's probably at a standstill now. What do you do from here? But like
Yeah.
I said, it's the message, and that's
Right.
what's important. So
Right. Well, at least with COVID, we're all heading in the right direction. So things will, opportunities will start to create themselves again for us. So like you wouldn't have had the opportunity to like do a book signing or any events of any kind because of it.
No.
So
no, or
Yeah.
book fairs or
right.
school fairs, you just couldn't do it. So
Yeah.
going forward, maybe we all will.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Well, great. Well, I personally read the book. I loved it. It's a very sweet story, and I thought the illustrations were really charming. I really did. I thought they were so charming.
Well,
So,
they're all little cutout pieces of paper
mm-hmm.
that I cut out and put together. So it was
Oh.
getting a little tedious after a while. But it was fun.
Yeah. So it was like collage work, or what do you? It's a special
it's
kind of
like-
work.
It's collage. I painted hundreds of pieces of
Yeah.
paper with different textures and just painted all different kinds of colors. And then I bought this paper, I think it was from 3M. It's a big roll of paper, and you can take your painted paper and stick it to this
Yeah.
paper so that when you do the collage, you don't have to glue. It makes a sticky out of the paper that you
Okay.
painted. So it was
Is it-
just,
Is there a word for that? Is like mush or mud? Seems I've heard of that word before.
Mod
I have-
Podge?
Yeah.
A Mod
Yeah.
Podge.
No, it avoids that. It makes it so much easier than that. I don't have it right here with me.
Wow. Okay.
I basically took a piece of paper, painted it, and then applied it to this sticky back paper.
Oh, okay.
So that you
Wow.
cut out all your little pieces for your illustration, and then you peel it, and it's a sticker.
Oh. Yeah, okay.
Oh, wow.
So it avoids the glue. of the Mod
Wow.
Podge.
The Mod Podge, that's it. Thank you. I
yes.
couldn't think of the word.
Yeah, it makes it much easier than that. And I just happened to see it on YouTube or something one day. And I went, oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Speaking of which, is your story on YouTube at all? Have you been able to do that?
No, I'm challenged when it comes to the computer.
Oh, that might be something that we could help you with, for sure.
Yeah, it's all great.
Good for you. Hey, I'm still learning Zoom, so that's okay.
Me too, you could see that.
Good.
But
So,
anyway.
Author, illustrator, artist extraordinaire. The book is called What Color Is Your Heart? Available on Amazon, and you can get to it through our bookstore as well.
And I do have a website. I did start a website. So
What's your website, Deb?
DebBinnig.com.
Easy to remember. Very good. Good. Are you on Instagram or Facebook or anything as well?
Yes.
Okay. Are you under your name or?
Yes, Deb Binnig. Mhm.
Okay. Okay, great. Good. So I will look you up and start following as well. All right. All the way from Cape Cod. Thank you, Deb Binnig, for updating us.
If you ever come to the Cape, look me up.
Nicole, we're down. Are you down to the Cape much? I get down to the Cape every now and then. So, Lauren, you
Depends on
probably
the
do, right?
traffic.
We'll make a road trip.
Road
Okay.
trip to the Cape. I see in our future.
It's a deal.
Road trip to Deb's house. All right. Thanks for sharing. And next up is my friend John Miller up there in the corner. So we're going to ask John some of the same questions, and his has been a little bit of a different journey so far. Am I giving feedback? Can you guys hear okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, great. I didn't want to make sure I wasn't ringing too much there. All right. Okay, John, so tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey in writing.
Yeah, I know. So I am currently 21. I've lived in Methuen still my whole life.
Massachusetts, yep, with us. Uh-huh.
A mamãe tá quebrando, foi obrigada.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm currently a sophomore at Northern Essex Community College in Haverhill.
Okay. Yeah. And
and I'm going for my associate's degree in early childhood education.
Great.
You are. And you've been working very hard at that.
Yeah, it should be done by next year of May.
And you're doing your student teaching?
It's over. Yeah, my semester's over. I did really good again.
Good for you.
Yeah,
Okay.
I did like a final exam on like Friday. Took me almost 5 hours,
Oh,
but I
Good.
ended up getting like a 92.
and what were the student teaching experience like, John? What kind of kids did you work with?
Oh, there were a lot of kids that had behavioral issues and had a hard time listening, as always, because they're young. But
Okay.
it was I enjoyed being with them and helping them in any ways possible.
Great. So tell us about your journey, John. Where did your stories come from? What inspired you to write and to illustrate? And John is an author illustrator as well, and he has a very unique story. So tell us what inspired you.
Yeah. So it's all started when I was very young. I would wrestle and play with my hands, which I still do today. And this was a stammer tick that I had.
Yep.
This was also
And-
due to part of my autism.
From autism, right? Right.
Yep.
Okay.
And I just started like naming them normal names like Bob, Tony, and other names like that.
So your
Yep.
hands actually became your characters.
Yeah. More importantly, I say they were like my friends.
Yep.
Nickname imaginary friends.
Your imaginary friends. Got it. Okay.
And I created like 30 characters.
Hmm.
Yep. And I created this whole world on my own hands, naming it Handsome.
The world of Handom.
Yep. We call our business the land of Handsome.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All created from your hands. And you named your original characters were Bob and Tony. Is that my right?
Actually, it was Bruce, but it was good we did, but it's fine we did Tony.
At the time we did. Okay.
Yeah.
So I understand that your mom kind of encouraged you to like write your story, tell your stories or speak them out loud, and she started writing them down. Is that basically how it started? You were
Well,
like
also
5,
when-
I think, right?
Well, also when I was young, and I used to do this a lot in school, I kind of remember this now, but I used to tell stories and write them down on paper. So for instance, I created the story called Me and Fox, which was not nice. He was evil because I like making bad characters.
John originally like dark stories.
Yeah. So which we couldn't do for Handsome once we told you about it because we had to lighten it up a bit.
You had to lighten it up, yeah. Mama Bear Sherry came into play and said, let's lighten this up, John.
Yeah. No, but the story was just a story about me getting rid of the fox and saving the animals and my family. And yes, I could talk to the animals.
Okay. So tell us about your first book, which is called
Yes.
Adventures in Handom. Let me bring that up first so everybody can see, John. I just want to bring it up on the screen so they can see. Hold on here. Let me see. Share screen. Okay. So can you guys see that?
Mhm.
So this is John's first book, Adventures in Handom, and these are his hand characters that he developed himself.
The green one was always part of the original. The red one we created for the book.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about Adventures in Handom, what it's all about.
Yes. So as you can see, it's a small colony on planet H13.
Okay,
And all the people look like hands. This first one's about having a good and kind heart, and good fighting off evil to bring more kindness and joy into the colony.
yep. Great. And your characters set off to kind of save Handom, correct?
Yeah. Yes. to stop the evil General Arnold from turning it from good to bad.
Yep, from good to evil in Handum. So they're saving
Yes.
Handum, and the way that they saved Handum is through what?
They all kind of circled around each other and they hugged them. This was
Mhm.
kind of a takeoff like how the Grinch ended. If you look in one of the pictures later on, you'll notice that they're all circling together. And his eye was originally red, but it changed from red to blue, just like the Grinch's did at the end.
Yeah.
And of course, it's funny because he's green, and the Grinch was green too, and with the red eye.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell us about the goodness juice. How does the goodness juice factor into your story? What is that all about?
Yes, the goodness juice is given to every person in Handum, including a young child and an adult. And it keeps them kind like, as we say, it keeps them from turning bad and having a good kind heart.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. And so at the end, everybody had to fill back up with goodness juice again, huh?
Yes.
Good. Well, John has a really good and kind heart as well. We met when you were how old?
Well, you
Six-
met her. Well, you met her first at the CPAC fair.
I went to a fair. Yep.
I believe it was when I was 16.
When you were 16. Yep.
About 16. Yeah.
So we took your stories and kind of edited them, and then John did all of his illustrations. And what medium did you use for your illustrations?
The iPad Pro
Okay. So you did all of yours with the Pro.
and the special white pen.
Yep. Did
Yep.
you find anything challenging in that process of doing your illustrations? Was there anything that was difficult for you doing with the iPad Pro or doing it all online?
Just recreating the same pictures, like when we talk with you, like you say, okay, you gotta make this picture better. It's gotta, because I know they gotta look all the same, but you can make some of them different.
Yeah.
But
They're
the
different
story-
characters, but making each character, if it was the same character like General Arnold from page to page, they had to look the same way.
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge was how we were going to create the legs, because if you look, how it originally was is the thumb was the eye, and I thought it'd be funny if their legs could be like invincible, like they just waddle and like it's almost like they're a ship, like. But when we came up with the octopus tentacles, it was actually a good idea because they're supposed to be like aliens, and aliens kind of like tentacle squid legs.
Yep.
Like substance.
Yeah. So then your second book,
Mm-hmm.
which is called, what's the second book called, John?
The Magical Heart of Handum.
The Magical Heart of Handum. And that's about what?
This is more about the power of friendship and basically the origin of how the goodness juice came to be.
Very good. So it's like a prequel.
This
Almost.
This is the prequel to the original book. And
Good.
if you look, the main character is a little girl, Princess Isabella, whose parents were the original rulers of Handum, King. What was his name?
I'm going to bring that one up. Yeah, what was his name? I kind of forgot it as well. Sorry about that. Hey,
Oh.
Lauren, maybe Lauren can remember.
What was his name?
Frederick?
King Francis.
King Francis. Yeah.
Francis
That's
and
right.
Queen
So-
Eleanor. Yes.
And Queen
There's the
Eleanor.
story, The Magical
them.
Heart of
That's the
Handum.
main character in the middle. That's little Queen Eleanor. I mean,
Yeah.
Queen
No.
Isabella.
The Princess
Sorry.
Isabella. So King Francis, Queen
Yes.
Isabella, or Queen
Nope.
Queen what?
Queen Eleanor, and that's Isabella.
Eleanor
Yes.
and Princess Isabella.
Yes.
Okay. Izzy, yeah. So the moral of this particular story is what, John?
The power of friendship.
All right, the power of friendship. So all of your stories have a kindness factor as well.
Yes.
Yeah. John, did you ever find along the way, as going to school and even college, have you experienced any unkindness that even helped to motivate these books even more?
Well, I was only bullied like a little bit, but not as much as other people have been. Like Deb was saying about her daughter,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's nice. You told us what happened to your daughter. I mean, no one wants to be bullied. Everyone deserves to be nice, but not everyone's nice in this world.
It's true.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So John, where have you had success in selling your books?
Well, I've spoken to a lot of different events and like places like resource fairs, fundraisers, different schools, community center, libraries, and a couple daycare centers. I remember Pride Star was one of our first ones in the winter of 2017, about a year after that came out.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's when
And
we started doing all the sales and stuff.
And you've done book signings as well. I know I've went to your book
Yeah.
signings. So, and you do holiday fairs and things like that, craft fairs or,
Yeah, holiday
Somewhat.
fairs. Yeah.
okay. And school readings, did you just do a Zoom presentation or Zoom reading not too long ago?
Yeah, I did.
How was that for you?
About 250 kids.
Wow, good for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Good. Is there anything else you'd like us to know? What, about your journey and
Well, I'll say this again. I was just like I said to you in the test run. When I first found out I had autism, I was not happy. I thought that made me different than other kids. But as I learned over the years, it's not a disability. It's just a different kind of ability you have. And there's nothing that you can take it away from. And so
Yeah.
about 2 years ago, I finally accepted to having it because I'm just a kid with a disability, and that's okay. I'm proud of who I am.
I'm so proud of you, John, too. I know your mom as well. We just overflow with pride at all of your accomplishments so far. How has this changed you? How's this being an author illustrator changed you?
It's really been a crazy journey, mostly like how when kids react to what I say about the books and stuff. They love the stories because they have good and kind hearts as well.
Mhm.
And I always tell them, don't let anything stop you from no matter what you have. Not only be who you are inside, but believe in yourself to keep pushing that motivation and being successful in the future. Because who knows, you could have a good life if you keep trying at it.
Yeah. Well, congratulations to you on all your success, John. And your books are available on your website as well as
Yep.
your story, your background and everything on handamadventures.com.
handamadventures.com, yes.
And you're on
not only-
Facebook
Yep.
as well.
Yeah, Land of Handem on Facebook.
Yep, website's not only for to purchase books, but if everyone wants to learn more about what I do and what my journey's been, then they can go onto that as well.
Very good. Congratulations. Congratulations to both of our authors. Thank you so much for
Congratulations to
sharing your
both,
stories.
Debbie. I mean, your story wanted to make me cry, but I was too happy. You have an amazing daughter, just so you know that.
Yeah, she
No one
is.
should ever make her feel bad about herself.
No.
No.
She's a high achiever. She's good. But I do see little glimpses of uncertainty, which she never had when she was before that happened. But she's a school nurse today. I think I told you that, Sherry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Went from an event planner, and she was
Wow.
she saw what happened on the marathon bombings. She was in the city that day, and they ended up for one of the people she was with in a hospital, and she just kind of was taken by that. And so she was an event planner for 8 years, and she said, "Mom, I don't want to do that for the rest of my life. I'm going to nursing school."
Good for her. She's found purpose and a way to
She's
give
been
back.
at Children's Hospital. She's worked at Hasbro Children's, and now she's in Lexington. I think I told you that. So it's all,
Fantastic.
yeah. So, and I think she helps other kids. Now she's working in a school, so it's good.
Yeah.
God, life is good. Well, both of you guys have very inspiring stories and success. I know the timing for yours, Deb, was just the way it was, but it sounds like it was more cathartic for you to get the story out and, get your feelings out there in writing and publishing the story as well. So different journeys, but
Yeah.
great successes from both of you. So congratulations.
you.
Fantastic.
John,
I
I'll
hope-
have to come to you I just got a new iPad. I've got my little pencil here.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I use to create the characters in the book. Yeah, it's very cool. I just haven't used it in a while because the pro's been kind of.
Crazy. It's a little old now. He got it when he was 16. He's almost 22. I can't even.
Oh,
believe
okay.
Well, actually, it's better once we take the cover off. I think that's what's going on. It was pissing her off, and it was pissing me off.
That's right.
It's fine. I mean,
all our technical difficulties, right?
oh no.
Boy.
You
So
got it.
let's open up for questions. If anyone has any, I kind of gave you just a brief overview of where we are with the collaborative and telling you that we have, like I said, anywhere from, I don't know, 20 to 30 more authors kind of knocking at the door right now. So I think Nicole and I are going to be pretty busy reading some books over the next couple of months. So I feel you wanted to ask, so any questions for me, and then any other questions for our wonderful authors here? So can I open it up? Does anybody have any questions for anybody on the site or anyone here? Sarah's over in the UK. We can ask Sarah some questions, and we've got Pennsylvania represented here. And Catherine, you are where again?
Pennsylvania,
Pennsylvania as well. Megan, you are
Ohio.
Ohio. That's right. Hi, Carla. And Carla, where are you again?
Canada, Calgary.
Oh,
Calgary. So we've got places. So questions. Who would like to ask any questions tonight?
I don't have any questions, but Deb and John, I really love your books and the premise. So
Oh,
good job.
Thank you. That
Very
means
good
a
job. It
lot.
was very touching.
Thank
So
you.
I'm
Thank
proud
you.
of all of you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wonderful.
Had a quick question for you guys. So my book, I'm still finishing my book with my illustration, so it's not actually done yet. But I was wondering, I was talking to Sherry about this a couple weeks ago, but what platform did you guys use to publish your books? Because there's and like print your books as well, because there's a couple different things I've been looking at, and so I'm just curious what everybody else has done.
Deb, you want to go first on that? Where'd you publish through?
I went to a printer. I took my originals to a printer. We uploaded it to Amazon. I think it was a PDF, which I don't know anything about any of that. I'll just tell you that right now. But I didn't like it. And when I took the originals to a printer that I met, her graphic designer just put it all together with the colors coming out the right way and the formatting. So I did it that way. I think a graphic designer is a good way to, ask somebody like that.
Okay.
Okay, so you're fully self-published. You created your own files with a designer, and then you went directly to a printer from there.
Right.
Okay, and then you're selling them directly on your website.
Right.
And more recently on Amazon, obviously, but okay.
Yeah.
So that's the complete self-publishing mode. Okay.
Yes.
we had a little bit of a different journey because of this lady right here. So Sherry was our publisher, friend, advisor. She pulled me out of the depths of sadness, trying to get this all set up, as well as, John, encouraging John, because we just had, honestly, a basic drawing program that we used for his iPad. And Sherry was like, okay, you need to send this to me and we'll see what we can do with it. And, just as Deb had spoken about, the colors were essential. We ended up working with like a really great printer too that Sherry turned us on to, that really cared about the quality of the paper and the quality of the color saturation for John's illustrations are very vivid and colorful as well as simplistic, and we really wanted to capture that.
Okay.
So yeah, I think Sherry, we worked with PDFs, and Mom learned a little about Photoshop. John knew a little bit about it, and Sherry knew more.
We literally just put the PDF files and dropped them at a
Yep.
printer, kind of the same way.
Right.
So that's the true method of self-publishing, but there are a lot of other platforms, as you're probably well aware, out there, Income Spark, and Amazon has its own publishing, and Digital Bookworm. There's so many different platforms. I think for these guys and for me, because I'm self-published the same way, just taking the files directly to a printer, using Photoshop and making PDF files, that it's been beneficial for us to do it that way because we keep the majority of the profit that way. If you start using those other platforms like Amazon, like Ingram Spark, like any of those other ones, they're going to take a huge percentage of the profit off the top and then give you basically what's left over. So whereas someone that's publishing with Amazon, say a hardcover book, you might only make $3 or $4 per book. But if you are completely self-published and take your files directly to a printer, you might make $15 a book. So there is a big difference, but it's very challenging to have those files completely print ready. Yes. So I've learned a lot through the years by publishing a lot of people that their printers are very particular about covers. And if you have a hardcover, getting the spine the right sizes and the right color formats and, exactly the right sizes and bleeds and the right number of pages and sizing and all of that. So it can be really tricky as well, where if you go with someone like Ingram Spark, they'll handle all of that for you. So it's a bit of a trade-off, but you can really do it either way. And there are some really good platforms out there, but just know that the big percentage off the top is going to go to that particular publisher or printer, or whoever that is, versus going directly to a printer. They just charge you for some printing costs. And
okay.
And
do
then
you guys have
illustration,
hardback?
right? I was going to say, you're doing your own illustrations?
No, I'm not.
You're not.
That's kind of what's taking a little bit longer. I'm just waiting on my illustrator. So
Okay.
I have about half the book illustrated. I'm hoping to have it done, like ready to publish by like end of July is kind of my goal, beginning of August. So,
Exciting.
do you guys do paperback or is it hardback?
We
Or
do
both?
a soft cover.
Yeah.
So it's like an 8.5 by, I think, 11. I'm terrible with my dimensions.
Okay.
But it's a little bigger than a lot of the kids' books, right, Sherry?
yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah, just
Okay.
a little bit. Yeah. We've thought about hardcover, but we kind of decided against it
Did you?
because of the colors that we got in the soft cover. So,
Okay.
and we like it better for the kids. We deal, with John having autism, we've dealt with a lot of special needs children and adults, and they seem to really like the feel of the pages, and all that really came into play. And
Okay.
so that's why we went that way. It's not like we never will do a hardcover, but right now it really worked out better price wise and everything else for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know,
Deb-
Sherry, what do you think between hardcover and soft?
Well, Deb, yours are soft cover as well, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't even think about the hardcover. I just thought it was too much money.
It is
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah.
They are a lot more
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah.
I started with a soft cover as well. But I was really adamant about having a firmer page, like a 100-pound glossy page in my soft cover, exactly what Lauren was talking about, because if the kindergartner has it, 4-year-old,
Yeah.
it's not as easy to bend the page. You can't rip the pages as easily, and having the glossy that they can just be wiped off.
Right.
You can use just a soft cloth and wipe them off versus, so hardcovers, you get into some spine issues or whatever. I did find that places like libraries, they would prefer to have, if they're going to spend money, they would prefer to spend money on a hardcover versus a soft cover.
Yeah.
So I kind of elected to, so I have both basically at this time, but it started with a soft cover just from the price the price point was so much
Yeah.
better. And obviously with anything hard or soft, the more you buy, the cheaper the rate's going to be.
Right. Did
As
you
well.
publish in the United States, or did you go elsewhere? Yeah. I know the hardcovers are really expensive.
Yeah, so I use the same printer that Lauren and John use for both hardcover and some soft cover, but I also have a soft cover that's printed by a printer in Ohio. Those are great rates as well, but I've also printed in China too. And I found that with the China printing, just the company that I was using, I would have to have a large inventory because it takes about 3 to 4 months to get your books. It's sincerely a slow boat from China. There's no getting around it. It's a slow boat from China coming over. And then I found too that it's very humid in China. And once those books actually started to dry out, either on the boat or by the time they got to me, they started to warp.
Ooh.
So yeah, so I actually went the extra step and started to have them being shrink wrapped, whatever you want to call it, so that I could avoid that moisture. Yeah, so there was an issue with that. So I brought it back to the United States, and I'm using a local printer, and I don't even have them deliver. I actually pick the books up because they're like 20 minutes away. But you're right, it is more expensive, but I tend to buy larger quantities just to get them at a cheaper rate.
Wow.
So
It's a long road. It's a long road, no matter which
it's a long road.
Yeah.
It is. And it's a lot of
Deb,
research. It's a lot of
with
checking
your-
online.
Deb, with your book, because you said with Amazon, you ended up doing it, you didn't publish through them, you published elsewhere and then sold through Amazon. So do you get more of a profit doing it that way?
No. We first started out with, say, I printed them myself. And if I wanted to sell them on Amazon, you can send them to a warehouse. And so we were going over it, and they charge you $40 a month.
Wow.
And then they take a profit of each sale. And then I said to my daughter, well, wait a minute, we won't make any money. We'll owe them money. It wasn't working. So now I just have a seller account with them. And if I get, a buyer, they'll send me the address and the person, and I have to ship it. So,
Do they charge you for that, Deb, or they take a percentage?
they take a percentage of each sale. Mhm.
Yeah.
I've done Kindle and we've had downloads that way, and we'll get, a little percentage, but we never went like the seller route.
Okay.
I think we've had a few bought maybe, we've been doing this since he was 16, 17, and like he's almost 22. So that was like old school back then. They're doing it so much different now. But like I was saying before we even started, we're in 9 countries and we've gotten downloads from UK, Japan, which was really cool,
Yeah.
and besides selling them over, we've sold them in places we've stayed, we've had friends sell them or even give them as gifts, and that's been really cool. So we're in nine countries and 22 states.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
so
neat.
Good for you.
Thank you. Well,
Congratulations. He's been at it, and Mom's a big promoter. You're not only an advocate, you're his marketing guru as well.
I'm trying. I do the best I can, but he's quite a commodity, I have to say. So, but we make a good team. We do.
And John's story is unique, and John's situation is unique too. In that softcover, he isn't just selling the story; he's selling inspiration, is what he's selling. So it doesn't really, in that particular case, it doesn't really matter whether it's hardcover or whether it's softcover. It's more about, here's someone who's on the autism spectrum that has talent and can take on the world.
Yeah.
So that's, this young man has won Special Olympics. Lauren, what else?
Yeah, so John's sports was a big part of his journey in getting his confidence before the books. John was very weak when he was a little boy. We got him into special needs sports, and he ended up excelling and winning oh goodness, 5, 6 gold medals, his first time out in gymnastics. He's won probably a total of 12 or 14 medals. And then from there went on to typical Taekwondo, where he achieved his black belt, which was no easy feat. And at the same time was running track for his high school, writing a book, doing well in school, and then ended up senior year being chosen as prom king. So, and I
Got
love
it all there,
because
John.
it's a great story, you know, and it's John's worked hard. He's a good kid. People, I mean, when we were lucky enough to do 2 events at his school, and the support was incredible. His superintendent came to his first book signing. We had a senior football kid who didn't even know John. He was almost in tears when he heard about John's story. And that's the power of, you know, being kind. And that's what's so great about Ella's Way and frankly, all of us, because that's a you know, again, a short commodity, right? Right now, we need to see it more in however we get it out there, artwork, books, the word, Instagram, and we're those ambassadors. And I learned early to share John's triumphs as well as tragedies too, to share and teach other parents and people, you know, that even when it's hard, you can't give up. And we've taught him that his whole life. So
Yeah.
Great
Well,
story.
what a great story, both of you. And Deb, I know your daughter's going to continue to do great things as well. I mean, being in the nursing profession myself, I can speak for that. She's going to do great. Especially as a school nurse. I've never been a school nurse, but I'm sure it has its own challenges as well.
Oh, it does. It does. Especially now with COVID.
Yeah. So I'm sure it's going
yeah.
to build even that much more confidence on her.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we've come to the end of our time frame here. I have recorded it if anyone missed anything, and so I can get it out and share it with any folks that weren't with us. I hope to do these on a monthly basis now. Maybe next month we'll have a little bit of different focus and invite another author to speak. Did you find this helpful?
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Inspiring, yeah, and starting to build us as a team as well. So kind of we're all in this together, and we're going to continue to build this. I said our marketing person that I had thought this was just an unbelievable mission that we have here. So let's continue to grow it, and we're going to start getting the books out now in the schools and get our brochures out there and start to make a big difference.
Well, we
So-
had one little thing, we're not sure yet, we're just gonna share, but John got an interview to be a paraprofessional in the literacy program at the Y in Haverhill. So fingers crossed. Say your prayers,
Congratulations,
it's
John.
Wednesday.
Good
Right.
job, John.
Thank you.
Luck,
No,
John.
That's a great one for me.
It's a good
Great.
fit, so we're hoping,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
I'm always in your
Word.
corner, John. You know that. Always there for you. So good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for your time this evening. Nicole, you and I will be talking some more. We got to hit the ground running with some books to read, and I'll be reaching out to you guys for taking some of the next steps here. So, all right. So the rest of you, I'll see you again next month, and we'll probably have a few more faces on the screen next month. All right.
Thank you.
Oh, and belated Happy Mother's Day to any of you who celebrated. So,
Yeah.
and
Back
Yeah,
to you.
all of you too.
thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
All right, guys, enjoy. We'll take care, and I'll talk to you all soon.